And see, people played on your intelligence, and they're having to find out the hard way that you were never this bird brain of a person. You are really a intelligent person that spotted them at the door. You knew that these people were somebody that you had to keep your eye on. And that's the part about it. When you have to keep your eye on a person, it's one thing to know that you can't trust them and that you got to keep your distance. But for them to still want to be in your life, and you got to watch over your shoulder, and you got to watch them to make sure they ain't trying to snake you, and you got to do all this extra stuff. It's just like, you know what? Keep all that over there. Don't even come over here. I don't even want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the lies. I don't want to deal with the mistreatment. I don't want to deal with all of the dysfunction. I don't want to deal with everything that comes along with you. Like, just stay. And that is where you are with these people on today. You just don't want to deal with it. After they played on your intelligence, made you feel like you were lesser than, made you think that you had to keep them happy. Baby, people are now realizing that you are no longer the version that they once knew. You're no longer the version of yourself that needed them for their validation, that needed them for their help. You are no longer that version of yourself anymore. And see, that's the thing about it. People don't understand change. They don't understand that change can occur right up under their nose. And that is exactly what has happened. Change has occurred in your life. See, while they were too busy trying to bring you down, you were growing. You were becoming. You were doing everything you needed to do, even on the hard days, even the toughest days, the days that you didn't even know if you was going to make it or not. And they still thought that you were supposed to show up as your best self for them. They still thought that you were supposed to smile and laugh and be in high spirits around them. They played in your face in the worst way. And then they had other people coming up against you with them. They thought you would be an easy target. And now they are realizing just how protected you've always been, and how intelligent you've always been, and how nothing gets past you. Nothing. And they really opened up your eyes to how evil people can really be out here. They may have thought they had the upper hand on you until they had to mess around and find out that you were always 10 steps ahead of them. Baby, you were always 10 steps ahead of them because of your heart posture, because of the way you treat other people. You don't intentionally do people wrong. You don't set out to get one up on anybody. See, these people have the mentality of, I got to get you before you get me. I got to do you dirty before you have a chance to do me dirty. And it's not even that. See, they mess themselves up with good people with that jacked up mentality. You was never out to get them. You never set out to do them any type of hurt, harm, or danger. You was really, truly on their side. But they messed that up, playing on your intelligence. People really think that because you're a nice person, that means that you're naive. That means that you're not that smart. That means that you're not on their level in some type of way. And that's the worst thing a person could ever do, is size you up by your kindness, size you up by the willingness that you had to show up for them when they didn't have anybody else on their team. They played themselves out of the best position they could have ever been in. They played themselves out of a good person. And a lot of these people are in the background of your life, and they wishing they could come back. Mark my word. Baby, they wishing that they could darken your door and make their way back into your life, because they see how blessed you are. They see how they played themselves. They see how they played themselves out of a good person, because you would have never done them the way they done you and all of the other people that they've came in contact with, because you can best believe them tables, they always turn, especially if you are in the will of God. You have maintained your integrity. You didn't do anything to these people to try to come up against them. Baby, they gonna always get it. It's gonna always come back around. The table's gonna always turn. They gonna always be dropped on their head, because that's just the consequences. They can't do what they want to do to you and get away with it. They can't treat you any kind of way and just walk away scot-free. No, 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 no. These people played on your intelligence. They thought just because you didn't say anything that you didn't know anything. People are really getting a rude awakening, and they're realizing that they played themselves. They played themselves out of a good person. They played themselves out of a better position in life. They played themselves out of the very thing that was meant to change their life. And then people really out here pretending to be lost and confused. They don't know why their life is always hard. They don't know why they're always going through it, why they always have to be the one to get the short end of the stick. They don't know. They don't understand. They just need a break. No, they should have thought about that when they were coming up against you, when they was coming up against the others. They should have thought about how those people felt and how that made you feel when they had a chance to do right. They chose to do wrong. When they had a chance to lend you a helping hand, they put their foot on your back and applied so much pressure. They knew what they were doing. They knew just exactly how they were making you feel. They just didn't think this day would ever come. The day that you kick them out of your life, you become a better version of yourself, the version of you that no longer needs them for anything. You don't need them for their words. You don't need them to be a part of your life. You have learned how to live without them. You have learned how to live with peace. You don't have to deal with chaos. You don't got to deal with confusion. You don't got to deal with everything that comes behind them. All of their childish ways, all of the things they do when they get upset. They want to make your reaction the problem for why they lied, why they cheated, why they decided to steal, why they decided to withhold information. You know, life is too short. You don't got to put up with that. And you have realized that people really played on your intelligence for far too long. They have to deal with what they done. They got to deal with all the foul words they spoke over your life. They got to deal with all the people they recruited to come up against you with them. They got to deal with the truth. People have had enough of their lies. I'm now offering one-on-one coaching sessions. All of my information will be in the description below. I look forward to hearing from you. I love you. You're going to be all right.